Hey there guys, Portal Master here, and man, if it's been a while since I've made a video. But never mind that. So, I was trying to figure out what topic I wanted to talk about in my first video back. There were several different ideas that I had, and this was the one that I settled on. There is going to be another video that will be the next video after this that will follow up with some additional information that I'm talking about in this video. But without further ado, let's jump into what we're talking about today, which is why I think that King, the makers of Candy Crush and all the other SAGA games out there, like seriously, there's 1,000 of these little spin-off Candy Crush Saga, Soda Saga, whatever. They made like a pachinko game, Papa Pear Saga years ago. I played that at one point. Used to love their games, but why they're going to end up making a Skylanders mobile game, at least why I think there's a very high likelihood of that happening. So I've been wondering why King wouldn't have been the people to have made a Skylanders mobile game for a very long time. As you guys, I'm sure, are well aware, there is a mobile game called Skylanders Ring of Heroes, which is made by the Korean company, about said Canadian, Korean company, Come To Us. And this was very much a gacha game that didn't follow in sort of the more American style mobile game. It followed more in the Asian style of mobile game. And what I mean by that is if you've ever played a similar game like literally any Chinese, Japanese, anime style looking, cheap, free-to-play game on the App Store, that's essentially what Skylanders Ring of Heroes is more styled towards, rather than something that King would be expected to make. King makes games, like I said, like Candy Crush Saga, like Bubble Witch Saga, Match 3 games that you would expect a woman in her 40s to play, not someone who would be interested in Skylanders. So, as you may or may not know, Activision owns King. So when they announced that Come To Us back in 2018, I think is when they announced it. Honestly, I don't even remember when they announced it anymore. But when they announced that Come To Us would be making the Skylanders mobile game, I was trying to figure out why that was. And the conclusion I came to was, as I just said before, well, King doesn't make games like Skylanders. They make games geared towards a completely different audience. But that's recently changed. So King recently released a brand new game, and by recently I do mean it released it like a month and a half ago, or maybe even longer than that. I honestly don't know when it came out. I started playing this game a month and a half ago, and it's called Knighthood. King made a RPG. It didn't make another Match 3 game. No, it made an RPG. And honestly, it made a pretty dang good mobile RPG. It's one of the more polished and refined mobile games that I've played. I've played a good many mobile games throughout my years. I got an iPad back in 2013, and I've literally watched the evolution of like free-to-play mobile games go from like the Clash of Clans to Clash Royale to the more gacha game style kind of thing. And in that whole time, one of the most polished and refined games that I've ever played on mobile devices is, quite honestly, Knighthood. Now, I don't know how big of a player base that it has. I don't watch videos on it. I'm not obsessed with it. But it's a great game to play in my downtime. And honestly, it's probably a better game than Skylanders Ring of Heroes was, just because of how polished it is and how well thought through and balanced the mechanics are. On top of that, the graphics are actually really, really good for a mobile game. Even if it's 2020, it's good graphics for a game that you play on your phone. Let's be real here. So, this changed a lot of things from my perspective of why King would not make a Skylanders mobile game. But you still are probably thinking to yourself, why would King make a game? Just because they make RPG games now, or a RPG game, why would that mean that they're any more likely to make some kind of a Skylanders mobile game? Well, see, here's why. So, I will do a follow-up video. This is the follow-up video I was talking about in the first part of this, but essentially, Skylanders Ring of Heroes, as we played it when it came out, is kind of dead. And Skylanders Ring of Heroes 2 is actually on the way. I'm not making that up. I will do a full video covering that later on. But the most important thing is the original Skylanders Ring of Heroes is pretty much dead in the water. And I can go on and on and on as to why this is. And in the next video, I will do just that. But the main point is there's a vacuum. And honestly, I'd be totally unsurprised if Skylanders Ring of Heroes version 2.0 never ever even saw the light of day, because Ring of Heroes version 1.0 was a very unrefined game, to say the very least. It got better over time, but it took so long to get better that they lost a large portion of their active player base just trying to get it to a state where it was where it should have been at launch. And if you include the fact that it had such a delayed release in the first place and a drawn-out beta period, I don't really think I need to explain why it faltered so quickly. King, on the other hand, is pretty much the biggest player in the American mobile games market. I don't really think there's a solid competitor, except for maybe Supercell, that makes, of course, Clash of Clans and Clash Royale. They're probably the only solid competitor as far as American mobile game creators are concerned. And Activision just happens to literally own King. It's not like they have to go out of their way and license to a third-party company in Korea, where my experiences with talking with community managers during the beta process, I obviously can't say too much, seems as if there may have been some communication issues from the get-go between Activision HQ and Com2Us, because, I mean, a language barrier alone will do that, never mind a culture divide, and the fact that, well, I don't blame Activision for being annoyed with Com2Us, given that the game was announced for, I don't remember when it was supposed to come out. I just remember it came out way later than it was supposed to come out. That's the main takeaway that I remember from following the Ring of Heroes news cycle from announcement to beta to release. With King, on the other hand, where you literally own them, it would be so much easier to streamline development, and because it's an American company, the communication issues that would be present trying to deal with a language and culture barrier just aren't there. And since there is, again, a vacuum in the mobile game area for Skylanders, I could really easily see King swooping in to take the Skylanders mantle over now that they have actually proven that they can make not just match 3 games made for 40-year-old women or people my age who are bored. I don't know, I see a guy in one of my chemistry classes play Candy Crush. No judgment to him, I don't guess. I did play Candy Crush when I was like 14. So, I mean, hey, it happens. Not just 40-year-olds play Candy Crush, but I think that's probably where their main demographic is. I digress. My main point is Knighthood is definitely not oriented towards them, because I actually think it's oriented towards people like me, who are actual gamers in a more true sense. I mean, obviously it's still no true console PC gaming experience, but again, as far as mobile games are concerned, it's pretty good. And I think that King has proven that they can make games like that, and I think that if Activision wants a new Skylanders mobile game, I really think they'll go to King. And the odds of another Skylanders mobile game, I actually think, are pretty high, regardless of what you think about the state of another console game. If you don't think that's ever going to happen, if you think that it'll happen but years down the road, I think it's almost undeniable that there will still be some form of mobile presence for a little while. I think that that's what they'll keep doing for the foreseeable future. Maybe I'm wrong, but if I'm not wrong, then they'll go to King to make their next mobile game. And honestly, you can just about quote me on that, unless somehow Skylanders Ring of Heroes re-releases and it's insanely successful. So I just wanted to throw this out there, that I think that there has been a new opportunity for Skylanders mobile games out there, and I will expand on what's happening with Skylanders Ring of Heroes and sort of what happened. I may even split it into 2 videos, sort of this is what's happened. There's a Ring of Heroes 2, and then another video why Ring of Heroes didn't work in the first place. I don't know. We'll see about that. Tell me what you guys would like to hear me talk about down in the comments below. I'm literally on quarantine, so I'm working on getting some content for you. Sorry that it took this long to get another video out, but I hope to be back with you guys again soon. Thank you so much for my subscribers for staying dedicated to this channel, even though I have not been dedicated to this channel. I'll hopefully see you guys soon. Also, special thanks to all of my patrons on Patreon. You guys are amazing. That's all for now. This has been Portal Master. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.